Ah, making a video. What the fuck video? Yeah, that's right. Happenings in the YouTube atheist kind of gathering and such and whatnot. So anyway, not much happening in that world. I did one of those stupid rooms. Just happened to have time this evening. Just worked out. I mean, it was a hell of a day. I had to work on a stupid car with electrical problems. Alternators behind the engine, of course, like where you can't get to it. Anyway, just a long day. Anyway, really long day. Anyway, I did this Logic Church thing, so I'll post a link below. I put in a couple hours, I think. And it really was pretty brilliant for a tired person. And I didn't even, Quintica was there, and I didn't even insult them or anything directly. There was lots of hidden insults. But anyway, it was funny and yeah, happy. Whatever. It really went okay. So as rooms go, it wasn't too bad. But it's just because I didn't really get an argument. That's so I need somebody to argue with. But anyway, so it wasn't bad. I did watch some of Piro's room, but it's the same crap. I mean, just hour after hour of Iranian talk, Muslim stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, that again. There was one point where nobody was in the room. I mean, there was people in the room, but the only person there that was talking was Vic, and it was just kind of funny because Vic apparently he doesn't know the whole story of the Shah of Iran and the hostage crisis and Jimmy Carter letting the Shah of Iran get medical treatment in the United States, not offending the Ayatollah Khamenei, who was in sanctuary in France, which is ironic, right? Not the French are getting blown up by the Muslims. I mean, the French were the ones who basically saved the Iranian Revolution by giving sanctuary to the Ayatollah Khamenei. But anyway, it was just kind of funny. But anyway, really, I think his point is valid. You don't need to know the history of the Middle East to say, gee, these Muslim kooks sure seem kooky, because they do seem kooky. We don't need to import kooks. I mean, that seems an obvious thing to say. Yes, these are crazy people with crazy rituals, with crazy ideas, with draconian arrogance. I mean, just horrific arrogance. No respect for constitutions or any of that kind of shit. Why the fuck would you import them? Oh, that's right. No good reason whatsoever. None. There's not a good reason. They're sacks of shit. Now, if they came over here saying, I would like to be an American and I think Muslims are crazy, fine. But if they can't say that, stay where you are then. We don't need you crazy here. We got enough domestic crazy. We don't need to import no fucking crazy. We don't have snake blixness though, so we do have room for one more crazy person, because apparently he did make it to Ireland, so he's going to soil that nation for a while. Seems to have survived it all okay. So, otherwise, yeah, so much news. I will be doing a response video to the evil Hothliday. I mean, he is just such a liar. Oh, this is good news. The Alan 08 guy did make a video. Now, okay, it's 34 minutes, his first video. He's a little bit, drony and tedious and redundant and all that kind of stuff, but it's some good stuff in here. Basically making a long logical conversation defending the idea that people need to talk about this stuff and make explanations and do some thinking and processing and development of the logical foundation and something like that. And just a defense of generally doing this hard philosophy thing. Yeah. And so, quite good. So, it was good. Excellent. So, I don't know. He's kind of vague about what his He will make videos, he won't make videos, he'll take down all his videos, I don't know. So I guess he's still figuring that part out, but yeah, I don't think there's any point in overthinking it. I don't think. If people can't follow along, then, they're almost not worth talking to, frankly. So, that's enough of that. I don't think there was, comments as always, are really pretty dumb. So, just a bunch of dumb comments, so I won't bother with comment video. I might answer this Andrew the Red guy, because he's just irritating. But anyway, so yeah, the other thing I'm going to do, let's see, where's the I lost the holiday video. I guess I had it. I've played most of it, and it's just horrible, and it's just so preposterously bad in the sense that he asks satirical questions like, well, what? You have to explain what I do that's wrong. And it's like, no, I mean, I've already done that, idiot. I've played your fucking videos, and I point out where you've just said something incredibly rude. I mean, he's still saying it's a matter of faith. So for you to arrive on Earth, experience suffering, and pleasure, this thing we experience this, and identify it as, well, suffering is obviously bad. It fits. The word bad and the word suffering go together. The word good and the orgasm fit together or something. And that part's pretty obvious. And this is really the value that we live for, is to avoid the bad stuff and to have the good stuff. And it makes rational sense perfectly. And it's not just some horniness. It's not some sort of arbitrary preference. It's a preference based on knowing what the experience is and saying, yes, I don't want to experience that. I don't want to not experience it for some psychological reason. I want to not experience it for a rational reason because I've experienced it and it was decidedly and intrinsically and fundamentally bad. This isn't a matter of faith. So to compare that to people who believe that Jesus lived and walked on water 2,000 years ago, to sit there and compare that simple conclusion, deduction based on my life experience, having consciousness, and me concluding that other people are experiencing the same kind of qualitative experience, that if they burn in a fire, it's not more fun than if I burn in a fire. He calls that faith. And he doesn't understand why somebody would find that obnoxiously insulting. That's not a religious belief. That's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of me personally experiencing suffering. I've met this God. This God isn't some faith God. I've personally met suffering. You don't need to tell me it's a matter of faith. No, it's a matter of evidence. I have evidence that being burned alive is very unpleasant. It's not something you want any sentient to do, for a good reason. Anyway, I'm making the video. But this is why the video needs to be made. And obviously he's a poster child for the truth evaders. They don't want to, the truth is they can't handle it. So they have to come up with they have to contrive an excuse, these nihilists, to evade it. They want to be selfish cunts. It's that simple. And the only philosophy that allows you to be a selfish cunt is nihilism. You have to annihilate everybody else's significance to make it justifiable for you to indulge in your stealing candy from the baby or whatever it is you're into. That's it. So it's just a rationalization. So he is an example, in a sense, of the people who are constantly grasping at any kind of catch to sit there and get out of the quandary of recognizing that all we really do here is have experiences, and those experiences are valuable, positive and negatively. Watching your child get run over on the street or something is a negative experience that nobody wants to experience, that nobody could possibly find it to be an experience worth having. These are intrinsic and fundamental truths, and it's not a matter of faith that they're true. Faith doesn't make them true. personally understanding and having an imagination makes them true. They're logically consistent with all the evidence, the conclusion. That you don't make that happen, because it's a bad thing. I don't know. Well, anyway, so I mean, if you're going to, you know, how many times does it have to be stated? I mean, so it's so offensive to first have it called a religion, to believe suffering sucks. He thinks that's a religion, and then, you know, that's just so offensive on its face. And then it gets even more ludicrous in the sense that it's already been stated that, look, we can't really have a conversation about anything called ethics or value if you won't evaluate anything. If you won't agree that something has value, then there's no point. If there's nothing with intrinsic value, there's no real value. Therefore, why would I have a conversation about ethics? Because all of your ethics can't mean anything. And then the ludicrous point that he's making is somehow personal ambition has value, or personal ambitions. Well, how is it possible that our personal ambitions have intrinsic value, and yet torture doesn't have intrinsic value? That would be ludicrous. Anyone who would think that is silly. I mean, it's just preposterous. So yeah, there's just nowhere to go with this. So either you make an argument in defense of your ability to say that ambition has value, a fulfilled ambition has some sort of value, but a violated sensibility, torture, doesn't have value. So you can explain that. There's no conversation. There's no conversation about ethics. You either define what the kernel of value is, or you say there's no kernel of value, and if you say there's no kernel of value, then the conversation is a waste of time. If you're not defending a truth statement, a fact of value, a real value, then ethics is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. There can't be a bad outcome then. If there's no intrinsic value, nothing can ever be intrinsically wrong. Therefore, nothing can be a lesser condition. Therefore, nothing can ever be, it can never matter whether anything is ever ethical. This is such an idiot. But his whole video was this contradictions, just fucking, I mean, you're going to call them outrageous lies to complain about things when I've said it over and over and over again. It's just insane. So anyway, I'll make that video later. In the morning, perhaps, or something. Sorry, I made half of it. Well, I made a tenth of it already. But I keep saying, well, I just ought to just ignore it. But then when you think about it, there is, all these trolls, all these little glib assholes that pop around. These are the same kind of holidays. These, when you're talking about vegetarianism or something, they go, num, 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 tastes good. I mean, these are the superficial, escapist, imbeciles. And so they are a real thing in the world. So you do have to sort of get to a point where you say, I got you. You have to play, no, you're lying. You're full of shit. That's a contrived pile of nonsense. That's the biggest pile of jibber-jabber I've ever heard to defend a complete evasion of the truth. To say it is hard to see value when you are a sentient being is on its face ludicrous. You have the most powerful microscope in the world in the sense of seeing consciousness because you're experiencing it. You have one. You can't get any closer. You can't have it spelled out for you any clearer. You personally have a consciousness. You personally experience suffering. How the fuck can you say, oh yeah, it doesn't really make a big difference. Suffering's only a little bit better, a little bit worse than not suffering. Come on. Nobody believes you think that. That's why they're liars. Anyway, so that's what'd be going on. So yeah, nothing much else. You know, the room thing, the logic, they did do physics for like the first half hour or so. And then, you know, they just didn't have enough, there wasn't enough, you know, expertise in the room to really have a good fight about anything. So, yeah. I was unmolested, you know, in my rhetoric. But anyway, so it went okay though. And the rest of it was various subjects. Of course, I did interrupt a lot, but you know, I do that. Just, you know, frankly, people say things less articulately than I do. So instead of them taking 5 minutes to say it, I might as well just take 60 seconds and say it right. Right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's about it. So we could play a little of this. Let's see what it is. The carpet chick. Carrying a carpet. And let's see what.
I don't know if you've noticed this ongoing feud between the vegans and the non-vegan bodybuilders, but I really hoped it was going to come to an end when the Hodge twins started talking about veganism. But then it didn't really take, and they've gone back to eating animal products. And so it seems this rivalry is going to continue for some time. And a lot of people really don't like it. I was on Rich Piana's channel, and it seems he doesn't appreciate negative videos about him. Using my name for views, talking shit. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Let's have a look, shall we? Do you know what, Hayes? You can shut up right there, because 5% nutrition is a start. Okay, he might not know about the other 95%. This is a man doing the best he can with what he knows, okay? And I, for one, think he's doing a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think any of this shit has anything to do with being a vegan, frankly. So, fuck it. Yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, there's this vegan health and vegan bodybuilding and vegan. Again, if we were actual Tyrannosauruses, if it was actually necessary for us to eat flesh, if our digestive system was actually made to eat raw flesh, if everything about our structure was built to be a murdering machine, the argument would still be the same. It's still ugly, disgusting, horrid. It's a grotesque expense for the fucking... So we can, what? Watch American Idol and buy lottery tickets. You're going to murder and torture and murder animals so you can do that? So the argument's still the same. It just doesn't matter, all this health crap. The fact that, yes, you'll be healthier if you don't sit there and feed yourself shit your body can't even digest anyway. This processed crap, this stuff you have to cook, you have to turn it into essentially something else to eat it than what it is naturally, full of hormones and bullshit that ain't going to do you any good. Yeah, so I mean, you know, they've already demonstrated that there's statistically a pretty good likelihood that you'll live 10 extra years, which kind of obviously indicates there's probably some sort of quality of life increase also, that you're probably going to be healthier if you're going to live 10 years longer. So it's probably better for you in both ways. So, you know, but yeah, that argument exists, but again, it's irrelevant, because even if it was exactly the opposite, even if it took 10 years off my life, I'd still be a vegetarian, just because I'm not doing anything good enough to justify torturing other sentient organisms. I'm just not good enough for that. And I don't think you are either, assholes. Anyway, I'm a little sick of this whole... I mean, it's fine, whatever. She just does the videos on people who cook or bodybuilders, it seems. Chefs and bodybuilders. Kind of a weird fetish, really. But whatever. Oakley doke. How's Jen doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. Need an update. So anyway, I think that's it. Mostly. And so, yeah, so, you know, that's what's going on. So I'm doing my usual amount of, making some videos here and there, and I'm still doing the, I gotta, you know, just gotta get rewriting. I just don't want to do the writing, and I know I gotta do it, and I just didn't want to do it. But, you know, if you watch the Logic Only Zone thing, I do a 5-minute spiel, and I do it, it's a pretty good little 5 minutes summation of my theory, so that was pretty good. So I'm obviously getting quite comfortable with explaining it, and but yeah, I have to actually I have to have a conversation with a real physicist, and he has to hit me with some kind of hard question, you know, and I haven't gotten that yet. Anyway, you know, hard issue of fact that somehow makes what I'm saying impossible, which I haven't gotten. I think that's it. So I'll leave a link to the Allen thing, and a link to the church thing, and yeah, I'll see you next time and such. Pretty much. So, yeah, sorry, I wish there was more happening, but there really isn't much. You know, lots of stuff, thinking, doing, will be eventually. Got to do the new Vlogger Dome. Got a lot of things to work on. I just, you know. A lot of stuff to do, and sidetracked by this and that, you know, personal life, this, that, and the other thing. There's a lot of stuff, you know, life is fatiguing. But anyway, I got new lights. I cleaned it. I cleaned the lights. Look at that white. It's amazing. I didn't think they were even, I didn't know they came in that color. You know, but I couldn't. I was surprised. Even I was surprised. I mean, there was just the dirt was just pathetic. I was wondering why there was no light in this room. Well, yeah, because the light couldn't get out of the dirt they were hidden in. But I did get some LED bulbs. They really do make a nice kind of white light. It's rather pleasant, I think. We'll see. It should be better video anyway. A little better light. I mean, this would probably help too. Should probably put the halogen on, but we'll see. I mean, to do video correctly, you gotta really have enough light, right? But anyway, it's better than it's been, I think. Or maybe not. I gotta also put when I'm not playing somebody else's video, I gotta put the camera down. Because my hands, I'm getting a little Parkinson or something. My hands aren't as steady as they used to be. Which is, you know, not a good thing. But anyway, that's really fun. My email was broken for a while, so if you tried to email me last week, it was a little fucked up. So try again, maybe, or not. So anyway, till next time. Such and so forth, and whatnot.